This is an alcohol-sponsored podcast. All right, we got this. It's Thursday, August 12th. This is episode 176 of the Token CEO podcast. We're presented by Sports Research. We have one of my favorite people on the podcast today. His name is Deion Sanders. Maybe you've heard of him. Deion Sanders told me the first time that I visited his gargantuan house in the middle of Texas. Gaz thought I was abducted because there's no cell service for like 100 miles around that house. But what Deion told me was that you don't see fat sprinters. So if you want to get in shape, you want to look great, you want to feel your best, you want to have Deion Sanders-like prowess, you should try Sports Research. Sports Research is for professional athletes from UFC to the NFL. It's for bloggers. It's for CEOs. They've got Sweet Sweat. They've got collagen. They have an at-home workout kit. They've got waist trimmers. They've got all sorts of stuff for you to make the most of your workout. Go to sportsresearch.com and get 20% off your order if you use code Erica at checkout. That's sportsresearch.com, code Erica at checkout, and 25% off for you. So in addition to having Deion here, we're going to cover voicemails today. We'll do our adulting segment, and then we'll lead things off with what's coming up this fall at Barstool. This is the football episode. So this is our Super Bowl season. This is going to be our biggest year of football yet. Why? One is we're going to be live in more states than ever before with the Barstool Sportsbook. So we're launching 4+ states in August and September. Second is we have the Arizona Bowl coming up at the end of the year. So we will be very, very interested and have a vested interest in both the MAC and the Mountain West. Third is we're adding a whole bunch of new shows, and we've added a bunch of awesome personalities, including Megan Making Money and Kelly in Vegas. So we have Hank, who's the producer of Pardon My Take. We've got Hank's Fantasy Football Factory. He does this with Roan. Side note, Roan got married. We had Roan on the pod. Gorgeous bride, beautiful wedding. No idea that was happening. I was just scrolling through Instagram. It was stunning. So huge shout out to Roan. Roan and Hank and a whole host of others will have the Fantasy Football Factory. We'll have Unnecessary Roughness, which is where Brandon Walker and Casey Smith talk about football and essentially argue with one another every week. We've got Pick'em, a lot of drama around Pick'em. Pick'em is one of the oldest gambling shows we've got at Barstool Sports. It's Dave, it's Dan, it's Rico Bosco. And it's a lot of fun. We've got Pick Central, which is our daily show hosted by Big Cat and Brandon Walker. We've got Sports Advisors. Sports Advisors is hands down my favorite show here. We've got Bussin' with the Boys. So Will Compton and Taylor Lewan have their football podcast, #sign Will Compton. Still trying to land a spot on a football team. Selfishly, I'd be happy if you just podcast all the time, but sign Will Compton. We've got the college football show. We've got the pro football show with Deion Sanders, and then the pro football show after show. And then, of course, we've got all of our podcasts leading with PMT, which is arguably one of the funniest, strongest, and most beloved podcasts of all time. So that's what's happening in football around here. So anyone who's listening to this can just count their blessings that there's only really 2 more weeks until football starts. Coach Sanders, I call him Deion, don't call him Deion in a press conference. He's got a lot happening. He's the head coach of JSU. He's done an incredible job growing a very solid team, creating a ton of energy around their program. He has his 21st in Prime podcast, which Roan is also on, along with co-host Jamie Dukes. And then this fall, one of the biggest things we're launching is our version of Hard Knocks. So we will have our own docuseries following Coach Sanders, talking about the players, the seasons, the drama, the inner workings of the team.
Jackson State fans, it is real. Deion Sanders is your new head coach of the football program.
What I'm here for today is to understand what is the expectation that you have for yourself. What is the expectation that you have from the opening kickoff to the last second that ticks off the clock?
Trust me, we're going to win a lot of games in due time.
Extreme weather is creating a water crisis in Mississippi's largest city.
When it's tough on everybody else, it's just right for Jackson State because we believe.
The only difference from good and great is expectation. The only difference from great from best ever is expectation. What is the darn expectation that we have of ourselves?
You can't play this game forever, man. It's the only sport
that it takes courage to play.
There's so many things that we deal with that has nothing to do with football.
There's almost no survival for you right now. None.
We are looking to replace you as I speak.
It's turn up time, baby. It's time to eat, babe.
We can't keep squeezing the lemon. Trying to get lemonade. We done squeezed that lemon so much, man, ain't no more in it. That's why I keep my foot on the gas. That's why I keep my foot on your throat. That's why I keep my hand around your neck, because I'm crazy enough to believe in every one of y'all. That's my expectation. Now, what's yours?
Our 21st head football coach, Deion Coach Prime Sanders.
Now, there's an expectation today that you win. Not only you win, you dominate. How you feel? And while you ponder that thought, give me my theme music.
I can't wait for it. It's our first real foray into a long-form docuseries. I think it's going to be great. We've worked incredibly hard on it. Dana Beers did an amazing job putting that together. We have a team of people, essentially, we have a team of people who we haven't seen in 8 months because they've been in Jackson, Mississippi. So I think it's pretty amazing to have an HBCU have their first docuseries from Barstool Sports. I think it's pretty awesome for us to tell their story and to bring that to life. So big shout out to Constance and the SMAC team and everyone at Barstool who helped put that together. And then when you watch it, it's impossible not to fall in love with Deion Sanders. The other people I would like to thank is Chevy. Chevy will be the sponsor of the Pro Football Show and the Pro Football Show After Show. They're also our presenting sponsor of Coach Prime. Chevy gets that surrounding itself with personalities and great brands with loyal audiences drives them results. You know who else gets that is Ad Results Media. Ad Results Media helps brands strike up healthy relationships that won't fizzle out in the long run. They have industry-leading tools that help brands uncover and apply winning strategies. They don't make you jump through hoops. They won't mess with your existing agency relationships. What Ad Results does, and they've done this with us for years, is to form sustainable partnerships with podcasters and publishers and to use those relationships to create unique opportunities for the long run. They believe, like we believe, that host-read endorsements are still king. They are not big believers in inserting dynamic ads and turning podcasting into programmatic media. When creators are left to be themselves, people keep listening. If you go to adresultsmedia.com/token, that's adresultsmedia.com/token, you can learn more about Ad Results and be part of the story. All right, so we're going to kick it over to voicemails. Let's do our first one. Frankie will kick it right here.
Hi, Erica. I have a question, and it regards how early is too early to quit a job that you're miserable at. Thank you. Love the podcast.
How early is it to quit a job that you're miserable at? Never too early is my advice on that. If you're miserable at your job, get the fuck out. I think you have to do some soul searching in terms of why are you miserable? Is it you? Is it your manager? Is it the company? Is it the sector you work in? Is it the people you work with? Is it the type of work you're doing? You need to be able to answer that question. Presuming that you can answer that question and the answer is reasonable, you might want to stress test that with a couple of your friends. You should make a plan to get out of that job. Best way to get out of that job is to find a new job, and you should set yourself about finding a new job, but don't stay in a job if you're miserable. Why would you do anything in your life where you're miserable? And then the last thing is, don't worry about your resume. Don't worry if you make a mistake, if you take a job that you don't want to have, if you hire someone you shouldn't have. Get out of it early. The worst thing you can do is steal time from someone else. And even worse than that is to steal time from yourself. So if you're miserable, make a change. I think there's this prevailing quote unquote wisdom that says you have to stay at a job for a year. I think that's bullshit. I don't think you have to do anything for any amount of time that someone else prescribes. Now, if you leave every job you have after 6 weeks, people are going to think there's something wrong with you. But if you've made a mistake or something isn't the right fit, or you thought one thing was going to be one way and it turned out another, don't worry about anything but finding a new place that will make you happy.
Hi, Erica. I was calling in because I just wanted to know what your thoughts are on upward evaluation. My company really encourages them, but everyone's afraid to do them. We're afraid that's going to affect us negatively if we actually get honest feedback, but Sometimes you just need to tell someone what they need to do to improve, and they're really easy to do it to their employees. So just wondering if you have any thoughts. Have a great day.
I would call upward evaluations in English giving feedback to your boss. We went through this morning, so we are having our mid-years. We're having our mid-years here at Barstool Sports, and one of the biggest things about a mid-year is it's like, hey, let's check in. How are things going? What's going well? What's not going well? You should not be afraid to tell your manager or your boss or a more senior coworker what you believe is going well and what you believe isn't going well. Feedback is a gift. It goes both ways. The second piece of that is you should be prepared to get feedback in return. And so long as you can handle the feedback, you should be able to have a really productive, open, constructive dialogue. Obviously, it's easier said than done, and it can be awkward and nerve-wracking to give someone senior to you feedback. You have to be prepared that they may react negatively to it. But I think you can avoid that if you give feedback respectfully, if you give feedback constructively, if you acknowledge and accept your role in whatever situations you're describing, and if you're open to setting out on how you both can do a better job going forward. Okay, so our third one is about references. So the question is, if someone asks you if they can put you down as a reference for a job posting, but you're not entirely comfortable about it, how do you say no? I think if you're asking someone to be a reference, you should be sure that that person is going to be a good reference for you. I think sometimes people like to put other people's names as references just to show some type of connection. That can backfire on you because if the person doesn't really know you, they're going to say that. If the person knows you but isn't close to you, they're going to say that too. And then God forbid, if that person knows you and they don't really like you, they're going to say that. So first off, I would say if you're applying for a job, don't put references that you don't know very well. The second piece is if you're going to ask for a reference, help prepare the person who you want to speak on your behalf. Give them the rationale for why you want the job. Give them your reasons for taking the job and direct them into things that you would appreciate they focus on for you. If somebody puts you as a reference for a job and you're like, I think it's very reasonable to politely say, hey, we haven't worked together in a long time, or, hey, I'm not really familiar with what you're doing now, or, hey, I would prefer to just only have my name as a reference when I have a lot of really direct, hands-on, applicable experience that I could speak to. And then I think it's always reasonable to say just straight up, no, I think you're probably better off not putting my name. I also think if you're really not close to the person who's asking you to be a reference, you can just ignore the reference request. Like, not to be rude, but you can just ignore it. People get a lot of emails, people get a lot of texts. It's very reasonable that something falls through the cracks. But overall, I would say if you get asked to be a reference and you don't want to be a reference, I think there's a way to say, hey, I might not be the best pick for a reference. I might put someone who has more direct experience that's relevant to the job you're applying for. All right, so last voicemail.
Hey, Erica. Love your show. Just looking for a little bit of advice. I'm in marketing at a very well-known corporate company, and we recently had a new director join our team who is very sweet, but she does lack vision and is very focused on maintaining the status quo. She stated to our team a few times that she doesn't want to rock the boat or overstep anyone. The problem is we have a lot of opportunity areas on our team, and yet she's still very hesitant to agree to any new projects, push the envelope, and kind of shoots down a lot of our ideas. The company I work for is very sensitive about management hierarchy, so it would be frowned upon if I went above her head and tried to get funding or position an idea, elsewhere. So I'm curious, is it worth disobeying this hierarchy rule and trying to get exposure and make things happen on my own? Some of these ideas could save the company millions of dollars, and it's a little frustrating to feel like I can't get anything done. So how would you suggest someone could manage a very stagnant boss who is more interested in resting on laurels rather than coming up with innovative ideas? Just kind of curious your thoughts on that. Thanks, Erica. I love the show. Appreciate your time.
What this lady is asking is, what do you do if your manager is weak and or sucks? So it sounds like this person's manager is a little bit soft. She doesn't want to rock the boat. She is about the status quo. She's hesitant to agree to things. She shoots down any innovation. That would drive me nuts. I had a manager like that when I was at Digitas. I remember it was one of the first times I really cried at work. It was so maddening and frustrating for me because I think if you're a person who's motivated and you have ideas and you want to make things happen and your manager or boss doesn't want to take any risk, doesn't want to support any idea, doesn't want to help champion innovation or progress, that can be so debilitating and frustrating. It creates a cancer in your team and your company. So shout out to this person for calling that out. The other thing she references is, her company's very hierarchical and they don't like when someone goes above someone's head. Here's how I would manage this situation. I would recommend that you have a one-on-one with your manager and you say, hey, I have 10 ideas. What do you think about these ideas? Do you think any of these ideas will work? I'd love to put myself out there and recommend we try 2 of these things. Which 2 do you think would be best? Would you support me in doing that? Basically, if the manager doesn't want to take risk, then give your manager the ability to put the risk on you, assuming that you're comfortable with that. That puts you at the forefront. That gets you noticed by other people in the company, and that keeps your job interesting, and that helps you be a good, motivated, productive person at the company. I would try that. The second piece is if your manager doesn't get better, she's not receptive to ideas, she doesn't want to innovate, she shoots everything down, I think you need to show a pattern of trying to make things happen. You should document it. You should keep track of it. You should keep the emails that you send around it. And then at some point, you're going to make the decision of, hey, do you go to HR and say, I'm really struggling with my manager? That's what HR is for. I'm really struggling with my manager. Here are some things that I've done. Here's why they're not working. What's your advice on the best way to go about this? Or you should make the decision to go find a different role at that company or to find a new job altogether. After all those voicemails, who doesn't need a drink? I would imagine the girl with the weak manager is having drinks often. I like to drink High Noon. High Noon is hard seltzer made with real vodka, real juice, and sparkling water. They have a new tropical 8-pack. What better way to spend the month of August than drinking a tropical 8-pack of High Noons? They've got pineapple, black cherry, watermelon, grapefruit, lime, and my favorite, peach. You can also get things in a 4-pack if you're feeling more responsible. Only 100 calories, gluten-free, and no added sugar. And let's transition into adulting. I love this question. So we have a question from a woman. We're going to call her S. And she says, okay, I'm just going to type it here. I love when people begin a sentence in the middle of a sentence. I do that all the time. She said, last year I applied for an internship with a company at their corporate office. I didn't end up getting the position. However, this past spring, I had the opportunity to speak one-on-one on a Zoom call with the CMO of the company. I asked a lot of questions about her career and her position at that company. I never mentioned that I applied for the internship and was denied because it didn't feel right and I'd already asked her so many questions. She and I have texted several times between now and then, and she'd mentioned how she wants to keep in touch. I'm wanting to apply for the internship again. Do you think it would be appropriate to ask her to mention my name for the position since she would be the person I would work under? How do I go about asking for this internship? Or do I include anything like this in a cover letter? Help. Great question. Also, congratulations. Awesome initiative by our woman S on taking the Zoom call, developing a relationship with a CMO of a company. That's a big deal. So huge congratulations there. I think you seem infinitely qualified for this internship. I would not focus on the fact that you didn't get the internship before. Who knows why you didn't get the internship? Maybe the internship program didn't happen. Maybe there was somebody better than you. Maybe someone else had a connection at the company that you didn't. You got to let the past go and you got to focus on the opportunity that you want right now. So in this case, I would text her if you have a text relationship and say, hey, I'm going to apply for this internship. I'm so fired up about it. Here are the things that I've learned from you. Here are the things that I would want to do in this internship. I would really appreciate any consideration. If you have any feedback on things that I can do to best position myself to get this job, please just say so. I would do that in text. I would do that in email. I would reach out to the person doing the coordination of the internship and say the same thing. I don't think you want to get into, hey, I've been texting and Zooming with the CMO. That's not appropriate. I wouldn't get into, hey, I've applied for an internship before. People apply for jobs at Barstool Sports like 100 times over. Don't worry about it. Who knows why a hiring manager makes one decision over another? Really focus on putting your best foot forward and be really confident and proud of yourself for the relationship that you've developed and for your understanding of the company and for the way that you've taken initiative to move your career forward. If you don't want to drink high noon and you do want to have a high quality cocktail, look no further than Owen's Craft Mixers. Owen's Craft Mixers are Barstool's official cocktail mixers. I was just watching the commercial with Rhea and Fran and Trent and the luggage. It was adorable. We're making commercials now in case anyone didn't know that. Owen's Craft Mixers does a great thing. They give anybody and everybody, no matter how good of a mixologist you are, no matter how bad you are at measuring, no matter how bad the liquor is in your cabinet, they give you the ability to make a high quality cocktail right at home. They're perfect for anybody who doesn't know how to make a high quality cocktail from scratch. You just mix Owen's mixers with your liquor of choice, put a little ice in there, and you're good to go. They're available on Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime, you can get 1-day shipping anywhere in the country. Perfect for golf enthusiasts, perfect for people who want to have a party, perfect for people looking for that ideal cocktail at home. You can also get Owen's mixers at CVS stores nationwide. So we're going to hand it over to my interview with Deion. Deion Sanders is a spirit animal. I wake up every morning and the first thing I read every morning is a text from Deion Sanders. We post those every day under the hashtag truth. But what I love about Deion is he is someone who is so hungry for progress, so committed to greatness, and so inspired and inspiring to young people. So I cannot say enough about Deion Sanders. I'm so glad he's in my life. I'm so happy he's in the Barstool life. And I'm so proud of what we've been able to create together, that this is really a touch base on where he's at, what he's up to, and what's coming next. Am I still allowed to call you Deion, or do I just have to call you Coach?
And what you want, babe.
That's what I thought.
A younger person in the media was very foul. He can't. He know he can do that. But it was funny. Actually, it was funny to me. I was joking, but I just rode the wave.
But I support you 1,000%.
Yeah, I put my skateboard on and I rode it.
And they don't know what to do when you do that. They don't.
At all.
Are you reverse aging? I was looking at you on Instagram this weekend, and I'm like, he just gets younger every time I look at him.
I think I just stay shaved. I just stay groomed. And I work out daily. And I try my best to eat right. And come here, Shilo. Come here. And I got a son that, when your kids get on
Shiloh's in there?
Yeah, come here, Shilo. He's not shaved. He's not groomed.
Shilo!
How's it going?
Oh, Shilo, I only know your younger brother, the Prince. But I have heard a lot about you. You're like the terrorist in the family, as far as I understand it.
Yes. Only on the field.
Yes.
Oh, that's not what they say, Shilo.
Does he look like me? Put your face down.
Come down. Put your face down. Yes, he does.
I'm Coach Prime. How's it going?
Let me see those teeth. Do you have the Sanders teeth? Yes, you do.
Oh, yeah. Show the smile. Show the smile.
Show me. I think he and Shador kind of look alike.
I hope so.
Shilo, do you agree or no? Well,
I really hope so.
That would come together.
Sometimes. Right. Like in old pictures, we look similar.
All right, Shilo, so how's it going? Let's talk to you for a second. How do you feel about having your dad there?
It's nice. But, he gets on to me a lot.
Yeah, I bet.
Put your head over. Why do I get on you? Because what?
Because he's my coach, but he acts like he's not my dad sometimes.
I'm not. He can't call me dad on the field. Like he knows I'm not dad on the field. I'm coach.
But at home, he wants to be coach. So I get confused sometimes.
He wants me to be dad all the time, and I give him no breaks. No. On the field, I'm a certain coach, and I try to give him wisdom as a father, but then he don't want it.
Do you want the wisdom on the field, Shilo, or no?
Indeed, for sure.
Just not at home.
Eric, he's the same guy when I first told him, look, like he was a quarterback his whole life. Yeah. He was a quarterback his whole life. And finally he got to the age and the stage where I said, son, it's not going to work for you because you're not putting all the work and the energy it takes to be a quarterback. So I'm going to teach you how to play my position, which is cornerback. And if you do what I ask you to do, you're going to have a ton of offers. You're going to be able to go to any college in the country you want. He said, okay, no problem. I took him out there on the field. The receiver in front of him was getting the best of him for like 5 minutes. And he told me, your jump don't work. Your stuff don't work.
Nah, he was telling me some stuff that I couldn't apply.
He's like, no, really, your stuff doesn't work.
The field, right into the house, took a shower, got into bed, forget it. He said, your stuff don't work. Am I lying?
You did say that, but he was getting me toasted that day. So
I was getting you toasted. It had nothing to do with you.
All right. So Shilo, how does it feel? So we've got Shilo and your dad, Deion Sanders, Coach Sanders, whatever moniker you want to use. How do you feel like you changed schools this year? Like, how are you feeling about the season? How do you feel about you're at South Carolina. How do you feel about going to an HBCU? Like, give me what's the 2 cents?
I'm just ready to play. You know, we got a great team here. I got some great teammates who's ready to get out there as like myself. So we're all on the same page up here. We all want to win.
And is your brother going to be the quarterback?
For sure.
That'll be.
How's he?
Shilo told me something so profound last year because a bunch of our kids that we recruited, we had number one recruiting class in HBCU history and FCS history. And a lot of our guys, probably 90% of our kids couldn't play. They weren't eligible to play because they came from Power Fives and they had just played. And Shilo told me after the game, he said, Dad, this is like watching your little brother get beat up and they tell you can't jump in the fight, but you got to sit there and watch. That's how he described watching a game on the sideline.
I love that.
A great assessment.
I love that. All right. So for both of you, what's coming up this season? What are you fired up about? What are you worried about? Like, what are you thinking?
I'm fired up about the documentary, Coach Prime. I'm really fired up about that. The crew, Barstools, I mean, you guys have created great content. Every day you do that. That's what you do. But the documentary style content that I'm seeing, not only the Barstool's flavor, but the heart, the soul, the passion, the sports, the energy, the everything. You've been able to capture all of those moments and to see some things that the country may not have known that we journeyed through and persevered last season. And now bringing into this season, it's unbelievable. And seeing and getting to know these guys a lot better and understand what they're up against and how they're still trying to push forward to get to the next level, which is the NFL.
How was it having the Barstool crew down with you? Like, I mean, we've basically lost Dana Beers. We've lost Kelsey. Everybody's moved to Mississippi.
We gained.
So, like, tell me, Shilo, was it weird? Was it like having strangers around all the time? How'd you feel about it?
Nah, it's normal. I know.
It's not normal.
No, it is normal because we've been on the show.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's normal to you, but it's not normal to the guys on the team.
I know that, like, in this position we're in right now, all the publicity, all the cameras, all the documentaries and stuff like that, like, we kind of need that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, that would just help us get the same, if not more. Yeah, the same exposure.
You need the spotlight. Like
that.
So
we definitely appreciate the exposure. So that's why we don't really mind too much, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you have a favorite person from Barstool?
Everyone. I like everybody. Everybody's
Shilo.
cool.
That's not a good answer.
Everybody's cool.
That's not a good answer.
Who do you hate? Anybody?
No.
Reggie?
He hates when I don't give money. He hates that.
Nah.
That's what he hates.
All right. I got you.
His dad is an ATM.
Nah, I'm still looking for my trust fund, so.
What? Tell Erica would like to.
I called him when I was 18 years old. I was like, Dad, I'm 18. What's up with it? I called him when I was 21 years old. Dad, what's up with it?
And tell her what I told you.
Nah, you gotta.
Tell her what I told you.
He said he don't trust me. We won't have fun. So.
No.
I said I don't trust you, and we've never had fun. There goes your trust fund.
So I'm trying to get the lead for sure. For real, for real.
Okay, so to give us, Deion, tell from your vantage point the story of Coach Prime.
Coach Prime is a documentary of life from the day I stepped on campus, from the day that everything, the genesis of everything, that everything started, a look behind the scenes. We were in hotels for a majority of the time. All the coaches stayed together like we were one big fraternity. And the kids just roughing it through some trials and tribulations, and us getting to know each other as a coaching staff, as a team, being on campus, being at the HBCU, playing against opponents who don't like us because it's me coaching and all the bravado that we bring. And Barstool's captured every darn thing that they could possibly capture. Last year, we didn't have full reign on everything all over the campus, but now we do.
Now you do.
It was phenomenal. I mean, we had to jump through some darn hurdles and hoops, but shoot, that ain't nothing uncommon to who Barstool's is. So I'm happy that we did this together.
Yeah, me too.
Another company, because you could go places that others wouldn't dare to go.
Yeah.
And you do things that others wouldn't dare to. You got nerve. Barstool's is your personality and Dave's attitude. if you can understand that, your personality and Dave's attitude.
Yeah, that's true.
And it allows me, say that again.
Yeah, he can really be himself for Barstool, you know. So that's
Deion can. We like people when they're themselves. You know what I love about it is that I think that we get such a bad rap when in reality we're just open and we like authentic people. And Shilo, there's hardly few people on the planet as authentic as your father. So when you see someone who loves who they are and has something to say and wants to give that to others, like that's really all anybody wants here. We never had a chance to do it. That's why I like working with you guys, and also why I like this story in particular is I don't think anyone ever gave you guys a chance. I don't think anyone's given that university a chance. And I also think it hasn't been easy. It's been frustrating. You guys have been frustrated. There's been a lot of bullshit. You are still up against adversity, and they're like, what the heck are the white guys from Barstool doing here? Like, I like that. I think it's unexpected, and that's what makes it special.
I love it. And I love it that you're so genuine. We're so genuine and authentic and unapologetic. And the problem I have is when people are like that and they exemplify those attributes, you get sensitive.
Yeah.
Like, why would you get mad when we're just giving it to you 100? You say you want it 100. You say you want it real. You say you want it authenticity. Yeah. But when you get it, you can't handle it.
Yeah, that's right.
What's going on with that?
Yeah.
And then we want to counsel. We in a counsel society.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you don't like what I said, you want to counsel me. You can't counsel me. I got too much sweat equity. Okay. Yeah. I'm just genuine. You can't counsel everybody you don't agree with. Why? How did we get here? That if I don't agree with you, I got to counsel you.
Yeah, that's right. Shilo, what do you think about that? Sorry, Deion.
I agree. I think it's gone too far. Like with just society, cancel culture, stuff like that.
Do guys your age agree with you? Because I feel like it's kind of your generation leading the cancel parade. Yeah.
No, it's too much group thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like not a lot of people thinking for themselves on certain topics. So that's really the biggest thing. Like,
yeah, but you got an eye. You got an eye.
Like social media.
Everything in your generation that gets me mad is everything is an eye. You got an iPhone, you got an iPad, you got an eye this, you got an eye that. And we was unity, this, we was together, this, we were this. See, Eric and I grew up back in the day when you could go to the next door neighbor and borrow some sugar. You can't go to the next door neighbor for nothing anymore. They want to rob you, rape you, steal you, kill you, do everything to you. You can't do that anymore.
Not sharing any sugar.
There you go. You got to get this unity back, and that's what we're about.
That just might be in Fort Myers.
No, that's everywhere, baby.
That just might be in Fort Myers.
I agree with Deion. I read a really great book about that once, which is basically that that technology essentially isolates you, and social media has just put a mirror up to your face. So one is, one of the things that I think so great about you, Deion, is that like you have a real desire to give to other people. I've always loved that about you. You feel an obligation and a passion for something bigger than yourself, and you try to inspire other people to do that. You're inspiring an offensive line to protect Shilo or whatever. Like you're trying to motivate people to do something for a group slightly bigger than themselves. I think the issue, Shilo, with people your age, or the challenge, is that they're just so used to everything being just about them. And I think part of the problem is like people Deion's age and my age having kids, like we made it easy for you to do that. And I think that's what's the challenge right now, which is we're asking people to join together when we've only ever treated them as separate and apart,
Yeah, we did. And it's so funny that he understands it now, but at one point in time he didn't, because you grew up with a silver spoon and a gold chain around his neck when he came out of his darn mother's womb.
I think I bought this one right now.
First of all, I'm sorry. Can I interrupt you, Deion? How many gold chains in your house? If we're taking like the over under, Shilo, how many gold chains did the Sanders men have?
How many chains do you have?
He still owes me a few.
But how many do you have on your own?
For you, just 4.
4. And how many Shador?
Shador used to have a whole bunch. I don't know what happened.
He didn't give them away.
Hey, he's definitely Shador at least has 6 or 7.
Shador got like 2 more chains.
So they're probably about 13.
All right, what are you going with?
But these guys, they grew up like this, but I try to take them out of those situations and put them in real situations so they have appreciation, understanding on what it takes to be that guy, to have what you have. And I put them around kids that didn't have that, so they would befriend them and understand the trials and tribulations. And then when they would go to their homes, they would see like, dang, like this kid still is a good kid. He don't have everything, so I don't have to act like a spoiled darn brat. Because I wanted them to have the access to this stuff, but I didn't want the stuff to have access to them.
Yeah, that's right. The other thing I think you've done very well is, I remember going to meet you, like, you'd like to spend all your time on a gridiron. It's not like you want to spend your day at the spa with somebody rubbing your feet. Like, you're like, I want to get in the dirt and talk to other kids and, be sweaty and outside. Like and football is clearly, what I love about football is it's a tough sport. It's grueling. It's ugly at times. It's beautiful at others. There's adversity. It's slow. It's long. It's strategy. And like, that's what you've given your boys, and all those boys, and they'll take that with them.
Slowly but surely, they're learning.
Yeah.
Shador is totally different than him. He's totally different, but he's very smart. He's very thoughtful. He's so darn skilled. He can play the piano. Shilo has been a master skateboarder. He can play the piano. He taught himself how to do all the tricks with a yo-yo, ping pong. He could play it like he could be in the Olympics right now in the darn ping. But we got a ping pong table. He wears everybody out here. What else you learned how to do when you was a kid? Play.
I get on the mic here.
Shilo, what do you want to do when you grow up?
Make money. He don't care what that entails.
No, I gotta go to the league though, for sure.
He wants to go to the league.
Oh, okay. We're doing this.
But he got to understand there's sacrifices he has to make, and he's starting to learn that now. You can't just say I want to go to the league and it's not going to cost you something. It's going to cost you something. Anything we do it like, it's going to cost you something. It's going to cost you something. We can get what we want to get, but it's going to cost you something. What you willing to give up for? And the more you give up, the more you're going to get.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think people get that easily. Do you agree?
It'll cost you something.
What are you predicting for this season, Deion?
We're going to dominate. Like the way we practice, the way we prepare, the way we go at it. I mean, how unified we are. We want to dominate. I mean, like dominate, not only win, but winning to me is not just winning on the field. It's these guys having a degree, first of all. We're number 1 in FCS also in academics with our APR, as well as these guys got to go to league. They got to go pro. See, if another coach just wins, he won.
Yeah.
But if my kids just win and don't go to pro, we lost.
Yeah, we gotta go.
We're judged totally different. So we got to win, and win. We got to win in the community. We got to win in school. We got to win on the field. We got to go pro. We got to do that.
And how do you handle the pressure, Shilo? That's a lot of pressure. Oh, you don't care?
I've dealt with it before. There's no pressure.
I've taught them as kids, what is pressure? This is football. This is a game. This is a gift. This is a joy. Pressure, Erica, to me, is a single mama, man. Ain't no man in the house, and she got to raise those kids. And she's also trying to go to school and graduate and make more money in her life. And those bills are coming in like fastballs. That's pressure. Somebody's suffering from this virus, and they're on the last leg, and they don't have insurance, and bills are coming in. See, that's pressure. This is a game.
Yeah.
Pressure.
Another thing is we actually get a lot of love. You know what I'm saying? So we don't just look at the negative part of things. We get a lot of love for just coming to Jackson State, and we definitely want to reciprocate the energy and win a lot of games for the school.
Yeah.
He loves it. Little things like this, Erica. They went to what was the place?
DMV.
They went to the DMV, my sons, and they called me like, Dad, we love it here. Man, we went to the DMV and they took care of us. Like we didn't
have to stay in the line. That's royalty.
But little things like that mean so much to them that, when he's in South Carolina, he's like, man, I was just another dude. Yeah.
I agree with that. Deion, one thing for you that I think has been really interesting in watching your journey there is, look, what I like about you and what I like about me and us is like, we're game for anything. Let's go. And being critical is great, and progress. It's all about like progress and momentum. Let's do it. Sometimes to our earlier conversation, I think people think they want progress, but progress can be ugly and hard, and it's grueling. How do you man up for that every day? How do you marshal yourself to win that every day?
I don't have bad days. What someone would think is negative, I flip it. And flip it real good all the way into a positive, because I don't think those type of thoughts. And I trust God so much that if this doesn't happen, that wasn't for me, because I'm God's guy. He wants me to shine. So however it starts, I know it's going to turn out great because I'm his guy. So I've been placed here to make people smile, to make people laugh, to give them joy, to make sure they're prosperous, to give them energy. And in return, God blesses me. But I just got to continue to do what I've been called to do. And I'm crazy enough to answer the phone every darn morning he calls. I do. I love it. Well, before my feet hit the ground every morning, I say thank you. And I get up, and when the first thought to my mind, I tweet out a message and text a message to you and many of my other wonderful friends, and just try to inspire them, encourage them, because you guys do so much for me as well. So I want to keep you encouraged, because you're blessing me in so many ways by giving me this darn platform. It blesses me. When I'm going through an airport, and I've been in World Series, Super Bowls, and the NFL, and guess what they say? Man, I heard you on Barstool, so that's what you know me from. So I've done all this, and you know me from Barstool. And I just say, yeah.
We just colonized Deion Sanders. I love it.
I'm saying, you have no idea how much that has happened. Like, I'm from Barstool. You're friends with Dana. Yeah.
They do that.
Shilo, what do you? Oh, wait, Shilo, you're leaving?
I got meetings.
All right, Shilo, what's your? All right, Shilo.
No, ask him that last one. He needs to answer that.
All right, I want to hear, Shilo, what's your, what do you give back to everybody? What's your truth?
Problems.
Wait, no, on the team? Nah, I just bring that energy.
Right, Shilo.
You know what I'm saying, to the team. And
he does that. He brings a lot of energy. He brings a lot of
get everybody going.
You do? Are you a troublemaker, Shilo?
No, on the field for sure, yes.
No, in my personal life, you are.
All right.
I think you're a troublemaker, Shilo.
But I will give him credit. He went on, just me and him went on a vacation recently.
How was it?
It was cool.
Good. But he did. He went with his dad. I didn't want to go by myself, and my son went with me. So He's like, remember this, and trust me, it cost me later, but.
Yeah, it is going to cost you. That's going to cost you like a car or something.
All right, nice talking to
Bye,
you.
Shilo. All right.
Me.
So Deion, we're going to do pro football show. We're going to do the pro football show after show. Like, what about football season? What are you thinking about with the NFL?
I'm so excited because I want Tom Brady to repeat, but I don't think they are. Kansas City is going to come back hungry because they got their butt kicked. They didn't just lose, they got their butts kicked. And it's so many movements amongst the NFL. I just want to see how these musical chairs play out. I want to see how the Deshaun Watson situation plays out with the Texans. Like, where's he going to be? Where's he going to go? Because he reported to camp, so they wouldn't find him. Now, allegedly, he got hurt, but nobody saw it. So now he's out of camp. Like, the NFL is the best 32 storylines ever. You can't make this stuff up. And you could just sit back and wait, and somebody's going to do something stupid. Somebody's going to do something great. Somebody's going to do something memorable. And these moments we live for, and I love it. And then I can't wait to Dave. I wonder what he's going to think about Aaron Rodgers, because we're going to blast him for his new BFF, although I think he has a few other BFFs since then. Mm-hmm. And Dan is just Dan, and hilarious, and Kelsey's wonderful.
Yeah.
Kelsey's everywhere.
Kelsey's everywhere. Yeah.
Everywhere. So Casey's wonderful as ever. Can't wait to see her beautiful self. So I love the team.
I think so. And then my last thing for you, Deion, is a year ago, I was just coming to Dallas.
Yes.
We were just doing this, which is amazing that it's been a year. I feel like you've been in my life forever.
It's been a year. It's been a year already?
It's been a year.
Wow. I can remember when you first came down to get it done. I'm like, she ain't no joke. You got on the plane. I was calling Constance like, I just met this lady, Constance. Let me tell you something. She ain't no joke. She is like, she's a pit bull in pumps. She is a lot like you. You guys will be friends. Matter of fact, you guys probably going to be friends, but she ain't no joke. I mean, those attributes, I saw it in you, but also not only the intelligence, you had heart.
Yeah,
you had heart that connected with that. And that was the difference. It wasn't just business, that you care. You care.
Yeah, I want to win. And I like people. You like people, and you want to win.
Yeah, but you want to win, but you want good people to win with.
Yeah, I want to win with the right people.
That's what I'm saying. Speaking of right people, I got my Glenny Bowles wear too.
Oh, are you going to wear it?
Thank you. I may coach on the sideline during a game with some Glenny Bowles.
Let's do it. Please. All right. I love you, Deion Sanders. I'm wishing you the best of luck.
I love you back.
I can't wait to see you in real life.
I can't wait to see you either. I'm going to miss seeing you guys. Like, I like that energy. So we just got to figure out a way for a couple of weeks. I got to get up there.
Yeah, you got to get up to us, and we got to come down to you.
But shoot, Dave is probably going to be in Miami anyway. Probably, most likely.
Working on that. Yep. All right, I love you. Goodbye.
I love you back.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That's it for today's episode. We are not seeing you again till next Thursday. So if you feel like it, you can go catch up on old episodes. You can do that on YouTube by searching Token CEO, or you can do that on Spotify or Apple. If you haven't already, subscribe to the podcast, leave us a rating, or give us a review. You can call us at 440-462-1729. We talk about work situations. We give mediocre advice. You can watch this episode, as I mentioned, on YouTube. If you feel like joining the Facebook group, go for it. I'm at EKA Nardini. Token CEO is on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And we'll see you back here next Thursday.